Hi, and welcome to another edition of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle from The Moog Show on 91X. As always, I have my beer drinking partner in crime with me, Paul Segura from Karl Strauss. And I have another legend with me. I got AleSmith.
Tony Gwynn.
Well, I've got many legends with me, actually. So this is Peter Zine, CEO and founder of AleSmith. And I also have Colin, specialty brewer over at AleSmith. How's it going, guys?
Great.
Fantastic.
Good to have you guys.
Thanks for having us. Love it.
So before we turned on the cameras, we tried a beer called Mount Crushmore. And it was incredibly crushable. What kind of beer was it that we were drinking?
Yeah, that was that goes back to my home brewing days. I brewed up a cream ale. We're going to call it a session ale because it's under 5%. Tiny bit of adjunct, ale yeast pushed down to behave more like a lager, cold fermented, so keeps those esters down. It's San Diego in that it's got a little hoppy backbone to it. And the name, what, Eric came up with that, I guess?
It was mine, actually.
Oh, yeah. Colin came up with it. And Colin actually,
crushable.
Colin actually brewed it, so he can tell you more about it, too.
You know, it's just, I love this beer. It's perfect hot day, summer lawnmower beer. Really sessionable, really light, hoppy, but not too hoppy. It's just, you know, it's what you want when it's like 100 degrees out in San Diego.
16-ounce cans are out there, and it's also
huge amount of flavor. What was the ABV on it? It's got to be under 5. 4.3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keeping it small.
With the amount of flavor, you'd think it has like more alcohol, although the two aren't really synonymous. But
you know, it's great because then you can have a couple of them.
I would say it's a great convert beer, as well as if you are a craft beer lover, because there is so much flavor behind it as well.
Well, thank you.
Well, I drink beer for the flavor.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the alcohol, but the alcohol is often a pleasant, you know.
Add-on, you know?
Right, yeah. Bonus. That beer, though, like I want to crush a bunch of them because I like the flavor.
It's the name. Crush
yeah,
more,
you'll
man.
still have whatever mental faculties you had prior to start.
Exactly.
And the name is so fun.
When we went for a little bit of play on the can, the art, it looks like the can's been crushed and then filled back out. It has like dimples and bends all over. And it looks like that, and it also looks like camouflage a little bit, you know, in the art. So
Nice. Well, the next beer, and this one I'm really excited about, the Gwynn Jr. Session IPA.
Yes.
So, we all know and love 394 Pale Ale. You know, I remember you were the first person to come on Beer for Breakfast. No, it wasn't even Beer for Breakfast yet. You just came on the 91X Morning Show, and we talked about 394. It was just coming out. It was your Tony Gwynn beer. Now we've got Gwynn Jr. What is this, and how did it come about?
Well, yeah, we're just so thrilled and honored to be brewing the beer that Tony helped us make. So while we were working with his dad, Tony Jr. was kind of hanging around, noticing, catching the bug a little bit. I think batters and baseball players, what appeals to them is like they're seeking perfection and attention to detail, and I think they saw that in the brew house, the attention to detail thing. Tony was asking lots of questions, and then I said, hey, one day why don't we just make a beer with you? So he's being educated on craft beer. We sent him home with homework. He came to Sensory a bunch of times. We laid some beers out for him that he enjoyed. He likes hoppy beers. So I think it was for Super Bowl. We sent him home. We said, buy every IPA you can find your hands on. Karl Strauss makes some great ones. Go get them. Have your friends over. Do some homework. Come back to us. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want in your beer. So we decided to come up with an unfiltered session style IPA. And it's called Tony Gwynn Jr.'s IPA. It's got a, we had a picture of him doing a little kind of boring fly catch. He's like, I got the picture for you. And it was when he was with the Dodgers. He laid out for a really nice catch and short left. And that's on the label. You can see him laying out, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Colin actually brewed with Tony Jr., so he can take it from here.
Congrats.
Yeah, you know, I did a lot of work with him on the pilot system. We'd kind of come up with a recipe, brew it with him, and then, you know, let it ferment. When it was finished, we'd kind of bring it to Peter and Tony Gwynn and, you know, kind of think what they get their opinion, like we want to change this, that. So we ended up going back and forth about 3 times until we finally had this really dialed in to the beer that you have right now. I think it's awesome. You get a lot of melon, citrus, I get some like lime peel on it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of tropical flavor in there too. So I gotta say this. This beer, as with the 394, is legit. It's not a gimmick. This beer is an extremely well-made beer. It's not just something that these guys threw together to sell or appeal to our, you know, our love of baseball and the Gwynn family. These beers are legit. So if you haven't had it yet, it's
what are you
super
doing?
bright.
Really, if you haven't at least had the 394, what are you doing?
No, we feel it. Quite a responsibility to the Gwynn family, and we treat each other like family. It's been the greatest fringe benefit of this whole arrangement is that we have this new family member. Alicia and Anisha and Tony Jr. and son-in-law Kennard. They hang around the brewery lot. We go to their house. They come to ours. It's like the attorney that first introduced me to the Gwynns said. It's really not about money here. It's about they have to like you and trust you and want to do something great with you. And it's just blossomed. So it's the greatest fringe benefit.
Genuinely like awesome people.
Yeah, they really are.
So the beer is amazing. It's dry, it's fruity, it's crisp, it's bright, super hoppy.
It's also super low
You get your
alcohol
face
again.
anywhere near the glass and you're smelling the hops coming off it. I mean, the hop heads, this beer is going to blow up in San Diego.
Wonderful.
I mean, if it had nothing to do with the Gwynn family, it would blow up in San Diego. The fact that it was brewed with Tony Jr. and
yeah, we wanted to craft something different than 394, and Tony Jr. has fun talking about it. He's like, hey, you like my dad's beer? You like mine better? Doesn't matter. I think they're quite different.
They are very different. Yeah.
You get a nice bitter bite with the Junior.
Yeah.
And
more for like the IPA heads.
Yeah,
like the
if
guys
you're
who
a
like
true
that
IPA, you want a little
good
bit of the back of the tongue dance there with the bitterness.
You must have dry hopped the heck out of this. I mean, it's just, you get a lot of the hop flavor without a lot of the bitter. I mean, the bitterness kind of hits you late, but the hop flavor right up front, man, just really big.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Selling it at Petco. That's the #1 account right now. It's
awesome.
Down at the
I'd love to crush a bunch of these while watching a game.
You can have a junior beer here and a Tony Senior here.
A junior and a senior, yes.
At Padres Stadium.
So, Colin, when it comes to brewing beers with non-brewers, do you find it more challenging or less challenging than collaborating with another brewer?
You know, I think there's less ego involved with a non-brewer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have ideas of what I want to do, and typically when it's a non-brewer, it's like, well, this is what you want to taste, and so I'm going to do my best to get those flavors across. When I'm brewing with another brewer, it's a lot of the time, well, I want to add this malt. Oh, well, no, I don't like that malt. Let's try this, and it's like, okay.
Hence a lot of collaborations I call compromise beers.
Yeah.
But I think, these non-brewers that brew with Colin and the rest, they see these guys as rock stars. So,
oh, yeah.
So even though Tony Gwynn Jr. is a celebrity, he was privileged to hang out with you and let you know it. They find the process amazing, and guys like him have it down.
Yep. Well, the proof's in the
guys
pudding.
like that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, I don't really know much about brewing, and I'm going on a brew day with Paul one day this week, and I'm so excited because I get to see, because, when you guys are in your element, like, you guys are the rock stars. You're the ones that are, making the crappiest days better by just with your craft,
Well,
and it's really appreciative.
You have a rare experience coming up, so pay attention, Grasshopper.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
He's kind. He's too kind.
No, that's a super rare experience.
So as we're finishing this, I have a very important question to ask you, Peter.
Shoot away.
Cheesesmith.
Right on.
What is going on with Cheesesmith?
Well, my creamery at AleSmith is complete. It's a 1,500 square foot clean room that's passed Department of Agriculture exams and it's inspections, and it's ready to go. Right now, I need my occupancy certificate from the city of San Diego. So if you're watching, hurry up, guys.
Come on, we need our cheese.
Yeah, it's happening. It's milk from the animals that eat our spent grain from the brewing process.
Awesome.
It's been a dream of mine for 10 years now, and I am making illegal cheese right now that is only for me and friends and family, but we're hoping to be selling it real soon. Actually, I kind of have to sell something before July 31st. Or I lose my trademark, so I gotta sell something.
What kind of cheeses are in the works?
Well, I'm gonna make all kinds. I bought some really great equipment in Denmark. I can make just about any style. We'll have soft and spreadable fromage blancs, which are just nice white cheeses. I can flavor those with herbes de Provence or jalapenos, whatever. Curds, I'm from the Midwest. My mom's a Wisconsin girl. I'm from Minnesota. Love a little squeaky 3-day-old curd or less, real fresh. I'll be making those. We'll have, I'm going to be making it all. Gruyères, cheddars, fontinas,
Gouda,
mozzarella, Italian style. Incredible. Well, thank you. Back when the company was a little bit smaller, I could style them all out at our all hands meetings. I would bring 4 pounds of curds because that's about all I could make at home. But now we're 70 plus, so everyone's just waiting for this. I will treat them like guinea pigs, and the break room's going to have lots of cheese.
Yeah.
And I want your feedback.
I can't
Be
wait
available in the tasting room.
Yeah, and then so that's the next step. CheeseSmith is a separate corporation from AleSmith, but it will be selling cheese to AleSmith, which will be selling it in the retail area and also on cheese plates up in the mezzanine at our new location.
Which also, the mezzanine, I want to mention this. If you haven't
were there
been
New
to,
Year's.
Yes,
Yeah,
if you
that was
haven't been to AleSmith in the last, what, 6 months?
Yeah, we opened it in October.
Yeah, the mezzanine opened, and it's beautiful
you.
up there. The whole brewery just, you guys finished with all renovations?
Yeah, we kicked every contractor out in October, and we stopped paying them.
Let's cheers to that.
Cheers in general.
Shout out to Cultivate, shout out to Pack Rim. We appreciate all you do, but I can't afford you around there all the time. But yeah, it's been great. We can now, I believe the occupancy for our tasting room and areas is 648 people can be there at once. 140 on the mezzanine, full bar service. If you need events, we have 4 different areas that you can do your events. And so yeah, it was kind of a dream 4 years ago, and done.
That's so exciting. I can't wait for a CheeseSmith, AleSmith pairing to go on. It's going to be delicious.
Beer pairs really well with cheese for all sorts of different reasons.
Yeah.
Combinations of flavor. Not only that, but the cheese kind of coats your tongue, and the beer just kind of comes in, lifts it off, cleanses your palate.
I'll be doing some washed rind cheeses too with our beer. So
really nice.
There'll be a Horny Devil style tome wheel with coriander on it and soaked in Horny Devil. And if I can just come up with a Speedway cheese, my trials are going okay, but I need to really. It's a tough one.
It's a big beer.
Yeah,
if anyone could
beer.
do it, it's you. So I have a lot of faith.
Thank you.
So the Hall of Fame 394. This is the Imperial version of the 394?
It is. We upped the alcohol on this one. We release it once a year when we do the Tony Gwynn 5.5K that just occurred last Saturday. This is something we discussed with Tony while he was alive, and we were just brainstorming at his kitchen table, and I said, geez, it'd be really fun to do a high alcohol version of that beer and just up the alcohol into the 8.5 range. And I said, I can see the bottle right now. It's you in gold, in real gold. Yeah. So year one, we did release a 750 milliliter with real metallic gold, Tony's iconic batting stance. Now we put it into a 22 ounce package to make it just a little bit more affordable, a little bit more accessible. And it captures everything 394 does, but now you got a little bit more kick going there with a couple points of alcohol, 2.5 points higher.
Super drinkable.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like 394, but just slightly
bigger.
You
just umped it up. You just amped it just a little bit.
And that's what I like about it. Is it tastes like a larger version of 394, more or less.
Yeah, it doesn't taste. It does. I mean, I still get the essence of 394.
Yeah,
I don't know.
very tropical.
It's really hard
Same
to
aroma.
explain that you just it's bigger.
Same exact aroma, a little bit fuller mouthfeel, and a little bit more of a residual sweetness in the finish. A little bit more of a firm malt body character.
But still a very similar beer.
But still extremely. It doesn't drink like 8.5.
Hell no.
No, this could get you into trouble.
This is a sniper.
This could get you into trouble. So I was in Costco not too long ago, and I saw this really, really cool box that caught my eye above all the, no offense to the other breweries that we're seeing at Costco, but this box is so rad.
You gotta show the side panels on the bottom, Tony's. Beautiful. Some people, I think, are buying it for the box. They're throwing the cans out.
Oh, I doubt that. I'm sure they're drinking the beer first. Yeah. But no, these boxes are so rad. So where did the idea, the packaging come from? Just, throwing it back old school?
Well, we got some talented people at AleSmith, and one of them is Elvin, who does our graphics. And,
Elvin rules.
Yeah, he came up with this idea. Honestly, it's all hands on deck right now. We have people from every department helping fill these boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Thorn is calling upon us.
Okay, good.
To be filling boxes also, so I'm glad that we're not the only ones.
You must
It's
answer
good to
that
know.
call. We have people from finance and marketing and every department.
Yeah,
and
we were hanging out last week.
Colin and I were both on the line. It reminded me of the
off.
old days at AleSmith when we were bottling like one at a time, and all 4 of us touched every single bottle. But yeah, it's a great price point. Go out to Costco. You can pick this up. We do have a similar design 12-pack that is out for further distribution than just Costco. But yeah, super thrilled to.
It reminds you of the old days at AleSmith. It reminds me of the old days at the Murph, man, when they went to the in 1984 World Series.
1984.
1984. I
Wow.
remember that whole team.
Before we went on air, he
remember
he
that
named
whole
every
team.
position.
Every position I could name right
very
now.
impressive.
I was into it, man. It's such a great team.
That's
Well, the
super
Padres have
awesome.
been a great partner to us. We have a sponsorship. We're in the second of a 3-year sponsorship. You can find a number of our beers at the Club 394 up on Toyota Terrace, Section 213, as well as 31 different tap handles of 394.
It's still
Excellent.
my favorite beer. I go out anywhere I see it. That's like my go-to every time. It's such a solid pale ale, and then you up it with the Imperial, and it's probably my
Thank
favorite
you.
beer in all of San Diego. Like, you guys are killing it over at AleSmith.
And with the junior beer. I mean, that's, you know, it's cool to see the iterations, kind of the spin-offs, I guess, for lack of better words. But you guys hit a home run with this, pun intended.
Heyo.
Yeah. That was the text I got the very day we met Tony Gwynn and we had our first meeting. As we were driving home, my text came and it was from that attorney, and he just texted 2 words. He said home run.
Yeah.
And the rest has been history. It's you got to answer the phone. All you brewery owners out there, you get crazy calls. Answer your phone. Sometimes they're calling about something like this.
Well, not that.
thought
I mean,
that
you
was
guys
crazy.
have done some really cool collaborations. There's the Sublime collaboration that you did.
True that, yeah.
Another
Sure.
fantastic beer. And I think that when you've got these big names that are coming to you, it says a lot to what you're doing at AleSmith. And your guys' standards are so high, from the brewing to the tasting room. Anytime I'm in the tasting room, if there's an empty glass in front of me, it's not in front of me for more than like 2 minutes before somebody comes and picks it up and asks if I need another.
Our tasting room staff is on point, 5-star service. They're awesome people.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Any
the nicest.
question that you have, whether you're like craft beer aficionado or you don't really know a lot, like they are just so knowledgeable and so happy to explain and talk to you about the beer. And you don't get that at a lot of breweries. So that's something that I really appreciate about AleSmith.
Well, a lot of what was instilled in me was visiting Carl locations in the late 80s.
Again,
So-
with the flattery.
Well, I mean, it is
Well, we're
what it
talking
is.
about
Love you.
two
You know,
big breweries
yeah.
in San Diego that have paved the way for a lot of other breweries.
Pioneers, really.
Happy to do. I mean, it's just, it's a passion, right? I mean,
Right,
it's just a labor of love. It's something that just emanates from here that you just want to share with people. And you know, Pete, he's such a modest guy. He's taught more brewers, not just brewers, judges, and you know, everybody across the board, man. And you know, he epitomizes San Diego craft beer, man.
coming
He
from you,
is
that's
No,
incredible.
you're the
Thank
best.
you.
You're the best, man.
And I'm in between two of the most humble people in craft beer right now. And I feel like I need to make up for it and be like really arrogant because you guys are being way too nice right now.
That's not our shtick. I can't do it. It's
Well,
not in us.
it's one thing to love the beer and the consistency and the quality. It's another thing to know that good people are behind it. I mean, it's just,
Absolutely.
I'm getting emotional.
Well,
right
it was
now.
it was
I
a
mean,
coup for us to get Colin here, and he's heading up our specialty program as well. He's got some really good surprises coming up for beer drinkers.
Anything you can talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3rd week of July, we're going to be doing IPA week. So I came up with 16 different IPAs that I've done in our pilot
What?
system. Yeah, so it's been pretty busy recently, but yeah. Let's see, we're doing one
Will
day.
there be like a tap takeover where
We're going to do it over 4 different days. So we're going to release 4 different beers every day. We're going to do one day that's all regional beers. So we're going to have an English IPA, an all Australian hop IPA,
Wow.
a Northeast IPA, and just a good old-fashioned West Coast IPA.
Cool.
We're doing an experimental day. I brewed a beer with potatoes.
What?
And then
Nice.
I did a brewed IPA. That's kind of like the cool thing right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that seems to be like the like
The haze and the
new
brew.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so we tried one of those out. It's tasting amazing. See, what else we got? We tried to do, actually I was inspired by the Imperial 394, and I took a beer and I tried to make a session, single, double, and triple version of a beer where it scale it up.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Cool idea, huh?
Yeah.
And I think the last one, what was the last one?
He's got so many
Yeah.
ideas.
I
in
know.
there. So many of them.
Wow. A full week of it.
Flavor profiles. So same malt bill, but we did a dank, a piney, a tropical, and a fruity
Right on.
hops of the beer. So you could kind of be like, well, this is the same malt profile, but all these hops like kind of taste different.
I dig that. And so this
So
is
a
the third week of
mini-series.
July, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and third week of July.
Third week of July. Yeah, I think it's the 16th through the 19th.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I think I know where we're going to be on the
IPA
3rd week
day.
of July.
Yeah, it's going to be
IPA week.
IPA week.
We'll be there. We'll be there
Just
a lot
like
of
with San
days.
Diego Beer Week, it's not just a week, it's actually almost 2 weeks.
San Diego IPA year.
Every day is IPA day in San Diego.
Decade. Millennial.
So Speedway Stout, because all your IPA variations made me think of Beer Week when we do the Speedway Grand Prix. So give me a little bit of history behind Speedway and all of the glory that is Speedway.
Okay, well, it goes back to Skip Virgilio's day. I had to correct you. You called me the founder. I'm not the founder. I'm the second owner of
Second
AleSmith.
owner, okay.
Very privileged to stand on Skip's shoulders, but Skip Virgilio came up with Speedway in, I believe, 1997. 3 versions were brewed prior to me. The last one, he hiked it up to this impressive 12.5%. It's just got a nice coffee profile to it, and I know almost everyone has a coffee beer now, but back then it was a little bit rare. Carl had messed around with it, but not too many other breweries. And so Speedway had quickly made a name for AleSmith, and we do all sorts of variations. Colin here has a hand in the Grand Prix, which we do every beer week, 4 days of crazy speedways. Everything from cucumber water, which people call spa speedway, to we got the typical, the vanilla and stuff.
I'm still living for the waffles.
The waffle one, yeah.
That one, dude, the waffle one.
Yeah,
what we find is
gosh.
it's just, I mean, there are misses. We task the whole brewery to come up with ideas, and then they have to prove it to us in a growler. And we do start with 40 or 50. And we whittle it down to that 15 or 16 that make it to the final day. But for the most part, it provides a really nice background for almost everything. The big miss one year was a guy soaked real bacon in it, and we had 4 inches of fat up on top of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That was a historic
Can't you
miss.
skim that off and still drink?
But Colin's been behind some of the greatest variations that we've done.
Thank you. Yeah. The waffle. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
cool is that she
phenomenal.
said that?
I cannot stop thinking about that beer because it was just so good, and I didn't realize, the last year was the first, Speedway Grand Prix I'd ever gone to, and so of course we had to get one of everyone. So we tried every single one of them.
Can you say Uber?
Oh, that was.
I'm glad you said that, because one of my favorite hangs is La Bella's down in Chula Vista. They sell Speedway by the pitcher.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
But they
It's
do
really
it.
wrong.
It's crazy, but you got to Uber or have my wife or daughter drive me home. But I'm glad you mentioned Skip Virgilio earlier, because he also, I've got roots with him. He was an early, he's the longest standing member of Quaff, the homebrew club in San Diego. I was a member from 91 through 94, and he let me go brew with him at the Pacific Beach Brew House. Yeah, the PBL house. And
I went to go try his gold medal winner, which was a
mint
Belgian.
chocolate.
Well, no, he had the Belgian.
Okay, yeah.
The predecessor to Horny Devil.
Okay.
Won a gold there, and could I possibly have known that a decade later I'm going to be brewing that beer and it'll be my company? But
he also had a mint chocolate stout that medaled, and I thought that you were going to mention that, but I forgot about the predecessor to the Horny. He is an amazing guy, and he's one of the reasons San Diego.
True that.
A lot of brewers kind of came off of.
Great guy, and honored to be keeping the name of his company alive. But I'm in my 16th year now. Skip had it about 7, and believe me, when I hit 7 years, though, I felt his pain. Things weren't like they are today. It was a tough road, and he was definitely ahead of his time. But he's got a new thing in the works, and let a little something out of the bag. We're his first collab. It's fermenting away right now at AleSmith.
Very nice.
Well, actually, it's
in the barrel.
It's in barrels.
Right
so
on.
yeah.
So we have. I'm hoping to have the white whale at the end of this year. We have a very interesting beer.
It's fucking awesome.
But we can't. It's okay. You're on non-regular television.
Facebook.
I can't let too much out, but I can just say it's an awesome beer. Skip spent the whole day at AleSmith brewing with us, and it.
Super nice
from
dude.
the dairy system that he left me with to the Crohn's 80 barrel. Yeah, it's been a little change, but we pushed buttons.
A little change.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember that old system, man. You guys started from such
I have a recurring nightmare.
modest. And you guys really have paid your dues. Came from such a small little modest brewery.
I mean, if anyone ever questions the passion behind AleSmith, I can show you the books to prove.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was never been about the
Who
money.
would question the passion?
Well,
You know,
again,
show
I
me
would
that
just say,
person,
yeah.
I'll kick him in the teeth.
We were just having so much fun and art in a city, sharing a city with people like Paul and the other brewers around here. It's just an amazing, amazing profession that we've kind of stumbled into.
You know, I haven't. It's been a couple weeks since I've had Speedway. I've never had it like right after drinking a bunch of really nice pale ales and IPAs, but you almost take this beer for granted because you can get it everywhere.
Yes.
But then you go back to drink it and you're like, oh wow, I forgot how good this was.
Insanely
drinking
complex.
And it hasn't even been
flavorful.
that long.
You're drinking our Vietnamese varietal.
This is so good.
If you like this, I recommend going to the tasting room. We actually have it on Nitro right now. I've been kind of
good
working on
Lord.
the.
Oh, so creamy, I bet.
Yeah, I've been working on all the numbers, and I think we've finally got it where it's just kind of right in that sweet spot. You get this
what I'm
nice
doing in
thick
an hour.
head.
I know, right?
Cascading bubbles.
Let's all carpool.
Yeah, all right. Well, we gotta go because we're going to AleSmith. Peter, Colin, thank you so much for coming by
Thank
Beer
you
for
for having us.
Breakfast.
Thank you.
And thank you for continuing to pump out just amazing beers and having such a high standard for everything you guys do.
You're
Yes.
too kind, but thank you.
And Paul, as always, if it weren't for
Stoked
you,
to
I'm
be
just
here.
a person drinking beer on a camera, so I always appreciate it.
Well, happy to drink with you anytime.
And thank you. Thanks for watching Beer for Breakfast ABV. You can find previous editions of Beer for Breakfast ABV on 91x.com. And every Friday morning, Mr. Paul Segura comes on air and schools the Moog Show on what they should be drinking this weekend and what you should
I think
be
I'm going to bring
drinking
some of this in this Friday.
Perhaps. Thanks for joining and cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.